Today on Monkey Life, Sonny the capuchin is ousted as leader, despite being a hit with the ladies.
The girls still quite favour Sonny, but Franco is definitely more dominant, and he's definitely the one who's taking the group.
Saki monkey Desmond loses his lady, longtime partner Chloe.
We just came in the morning and she'd passed on her blanket in her bed, which, while very, very sad, so you can't wish for a better ending than that.
And a fruity treat helps Gibbon's Peanut and Pungyo reaffirm their pair bond. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
You just never know how it's going to work.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. It's all change again for the capuchins. Sonny, one of the group's established leaders, has been ousted as top man by rival Franco. The coup has caused tension within the troop, and now, for his own safety and welfare, Sonny needs to move. He's heading to a new home with Eriko's troop.
Franco has become dominant, and it's causing quite a bit of friction and confusion between the girls, because the girls still quite favour Sonny, but Franco is definitely more dominant, and he's definitely the one who's taking the group. We did hope that Sonny would kind of just sink down in the hierarchy and kind of be content with not having to deal with the stresses of being dominant. But unfortunately, because the girls kept wanting Sonny as their male, it just caused too much problems between him and Franco. So hopefully he'll be a little bit better off now that he doesn't have to worry so much about the social dynamics and keeping the group in check. But yeah, we're hoping that this will actually be a bit of a better spot for him.
The move back to the Capuchin complex won't be a new experience for Sonny. Up until 7 months ago, when his group moved to the lodge, he'd lived there for the majority of his time at the park. Now he's on his way back. But at least the setup will be familiar, and he's already acquainted with some of the monkeys there.
Good job. Have we got a blanket? Sheets of some kind to go over the top.
The house has a handy removable travel crate built into the tunnel system.
He's all in the crate and ready to go. Sarah's just crated him, so we do this training with them regularly, so they're quite used to popping into crates.
Sonny is ready to go, and once the crate is fully secured...
Good boy. Right, toes, toes, toes.
It's a short journey to the Capuchin complex.
Hi! Does this place look familiar?
Sonny's released into a bedroom with a variety of tasty foods to keep him distracted and help him settle. His arrival piques a lot of interest. Sonny won't be on his own for long. Katie has a friend already lined up for company.
So we've got Caesar separate already, just over on the other side of the bedroom. So we're going to go straight ahead and give Sonny a friend. So they're such social animals. We just want to get someone in with him as quickly as possible. We don't want him sat here on his own. And Caesar's just one of the low-ranking boys. He's quite a calm individual, and we're hoping that he'll be quite a nice, easy one to introduce Sonny to, and that they'll get along easily. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Cool. Ready?
Ready.
Caesar is let into the bedroom next door.
Who's that, Sonny?
They won't be kept apart for long.
Generally, we find with capuchin introductions, actually having mesh between them can be a bit of an aggravating factor. Capuchins quite often will shout at each other through the mesh. They're very conscious that they can't have full contact, so they'll just kind of take that opportunity to have a good shout and a scream. So we find that having mesh contact intros actually makes it a little bit more tense between them, so we tend to just open up as quickly as possible and just see how it goes. Ready?
The slide is opened and Caesar goes straight in to join Sunny.
Nice.
A scatter of mealworms keeps them distracted, and there's no sign of any friction between the two.
Yeah, they just went right next to each other. Caesar kind of glanced at him and was a little bit unsure, but yeah, that's fine. They're both happily foraging for worms now, so all in all, that's not positive.
The two boys seem relaxed in each other's company. They'll spend a few days together before Sunny gets to meet the rest of Eriko's troop and hopefully find his place within the group. The autumn season brings changes for the park and its primate residents. And the colder, wetter days can be challenging for the care staff too. Their aim is to keep the animals in their charge busy and active whatever the weather. So today, at Brian's chimpanzee group, lunchtime will be both seasonal and warming.
I know, Nari, I know. You're incredibly impatient.
Sean has some hot roasted pumpkins, and he's serving them up indoors to combat the miserable day outside. He's scattering the large orange fruits all around the chimps' indoor playroom.
It's this time of year where we've just had a load of pumpkin donations just after Halloween, and you know, the chimps aren't the biggest fans of them usually, but we don't want to be ungrateful and wasteful, so we've just taken a load, cooked them all up, and we're just chucking a load in with Brian's and see what they make of them. Even if they don't eat them, I'm sure they'll have fun smearing them around and making a mess of the place for me to clean up after, but yeah, they're making a fair bit of noise for it, so I think they're excited. Lulu!
The chimps can't wait.
You're in the lead, Nari. All right, ready?
As soon as Sean opens up, the eager group race through the tunnel to the playroom. Food can be a source of squabbles amongst chimps, but feeding alongside each other can also bring them together. Today, there are more than enough pumpkins to go round, so quarrels should be minimal. The chimps don't usually have large amounts of fruit in their diet because of the high sugar content. This bunch aren't always enthusiastic about pumpkins, but roasting brings out the sweetness, and they're warm too, so they should prove popular. Roasting the fruits also softens the flesh, which makes it perfect for chimps like Nari and, previously, Brian, who had their teeth knocked out when they were young and cruelly treated in the entertainment industry. Nari can only use her gums to chew, but has adapted her way of eating.
Yeah, this will definitely make a world of difference to her. So yeah, she'll just quite happily gum through this nice and softly and end up getting rounder, because even though she doesn't have any teeth, she's not exactly the skinniest chimp in the world, so she certainly does well with all the raw food she gets.
Brian lost his teeth when he was abused as a beach photographer's prop in Mexico. Fortunately for him, they were baby teeth, and following life-changing surgery at the park, his adult teeth grew through. Rodders and Ash were both born at the park and have a full set of healthy teeth. Today, they're putting them to good use. Lulu has a different disability, but one she too has overcome. She lost her arm as a youngster when her mother bit it and the limb became infected, but she's adapted well. To compensate for the chilly weather, she takes a blanket outside, along with a lunch of pumpkins and leeks, nimbly climbing a pole with her one arm and feet to eat in peace. The newest member of the group is Kangu. He arrived along with his mum Sasha from Buenos Aires Zoo in Argentina last year. Following fraught and lengthy attempts at introductions, the pair were separated and are now settling in their respective groups. Sasha now lives at Bart's and has made some close friends. Her son Kangu is well established with his new family and has become really close to leader Brian. Wherever he goes, Kangu can be found close by. His support has given Brian more confidence as leader too. Kangu has also developed a friendly, playful relationship with Rodders, who can be tricky. With the weather brightening, more of the group have taken their pumpkins outside. The roasted fruits have been a success, leaving them happy and satiated in the sunshine. The staff at the park do all they can for every primate resident in their care. One of their top priorities is finding the animals companionship of their own kind. So it was a huge blow last week when Saki monkey Desmond lost the mate whose company he cherished. The team discovered his long-term partner Chloe had passed away overnight in her sleep. Chloe was 30 and the oldest Saki monkey in Europe.
She was a really old lady. She did so well. Sakis are meant to get to 20, maybe 25 years old. Chloe was 30. She was due to turn 31 in a couple of months, which is incredible. And of all the ways to go, she passed peacefully in her sleep. She was just a bit quiet, a bit slow for a few days, nothing major wrong, no big symptoms, no suffering. And we just came in the morning and she'd passed on her blanket in her bed, which, while very, very sad, so you can't wish for a better ending than that.
Chloe originally came to the park in 2016 as a friend for Jethro, an eccentric geriatric male. When he died, Desmond arrived to keep Chloe company. It was love at first sight, and the pair became devoted to each other. With no other Saki monkeys at the park, Chloe's death means Desmond has lost companionship of his own kind, as well as his best friend.
So it is a big change, and Desmond and Chloe were such a lovely pair bond. He was very tolerant of her as she was getting older, and she would just sort of wander up to him and just sort of take a monkey nut out of his mouth and things, and he would kind of let that slide and was very patient with her. They'd spend a lot of time sunbathing out in the outside enclosure together, lots of time grooming and things. So it's just a challenge now for the primate care staff to keep Desmond entertained in other ways, to make sure that he's not, sitting around and moping, and he's busy and active and doing stuff.
Fortunately, he's not completely alone. Chloe and Desmond shared their home with Loki, a common marmoset, who seems incapable of making friends with other marmosets. But he's happy to tolerate Saki monkeys and doesn't object to having Desmond around. Today, Steph's giving them a selection of nuts and seeds in feeders and balls, designed to pique Desmond's interest.
To keep him entertained and to keep him busy, we've been giving him lots of enrichment, which he never really cared about before. When Chloe was around, he couldn't be bothered with that because he was just sort of distracted with a female. But ever since that we've lost her, we're noticing that anything new we put in the enclosure, he gets really interested in. So today we've got some ball pit balls stuffed with some straw, with some nuts and some waxworms in. We've got the same with little caplunk tubes, and we've got a couple of hanging bug feeders as well that will hang up, and hopefully the worms will drop out the bottom and Desmond will help manipulate them to get the bugs out. And we just like offering him anything and everything at the moment just to keep him busy. Right then, boys. You want to come and see? Go and have a look.
Loki leads the way,
Good boy, Pokey.
but it's Desmond who reaches for the prize first.
Good boy, Desmond.
Taking it to a high platform to get a better look. Sakis have long, skinny fingers, so rummaging through the feeder to see what's inside is easy, and he's soon picking out the nuts and seeds. Loki takes a cursory look at one of the seed balls, but he spotted something much more to his liking in the other bedroom. The tasty waxworms he adores. Desmond's happy to tackle Loki's rejected feeder ball, fully embracing the day's challenge.
I think Desmond previously didn't really bother with enrichment and things that we would put in the enclosure. I think because a lot of his time was made up with looking after Chloe. Especially the last few years, he knew she was slowing down a bit and he was very protective. So if she hadn't come in yet, he wouldn't come in yet either. And if she'd gone to bed, he had to go to bed as well and things like that. So it's actually quite nice seeing him actually using his brain and engaging in things a little bit, because we're supposed to be able to challenge these. They're supposed to be intelligent primates. So it's nice to see them actually doing that.
Desmond and Loki don't groom each other or interact much, but it's good for them both to have easygoing company. However, at 15 years old, Desmond is still young and needs the company of his own kind sometime in the future.
We're hopeful that maybe we might be able to find him another companion. I think Alison's putting feelers out to see if that's a possibility, and it would be nice to bring another Saki monkey in for company again. But for the meantime, we'll focus on keeping him busy and active, and at least he's got sort of Loki as a bit of company.
One of the park's longest loved-up couples are golden-cheeked Gibbon pair Peanut and Pung Yo. They've been together for nearly 20 years and enjoy their wonderful tree-filled enclosure to the limit. Today, they're being given an unusual seasonal treat, medlar fruit complete with browse. Sarah is putting the distinctive fruit all around the outdoor enclosure, including some up high in a pulley feeder, to encourage the kind of feeding behaviour seen naturally in the wild.
The medlar fruit is rich in amino acids and lots of vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin B1, vitamin A, really good for their immune system, very important as we're coming into the winter months with these guys. Peanut and Pung Yo, getting older in years, so we do have to keep an eye on their diet and their immune system.
The pair have had 3 offspring during their time together, although their relationship hasn't always been harmonious. But they've grown closer again in recent years.
Since the kids moved out, Peanut and Pung Yo have become a lot more calmer and gentler with each other. You see a lot more grooming sessions, and adding this nice natural enrichment might just help strengthen their bond even further. I mean, Peanut and Pung Yo, they've got a pretty good appetite, so I think this will be a winner.
Female Peanut is let out first and immediately makes a beeline for the hanging feeder. She loves her food and wastes no time tucking into the fruit, hanging by one arm and using her other to feed. Gibbons are well adapted to feeding high up in the tree canopy. Their shoulders, hands and wrists enable them to hang effortlessly for long periods of time while they eat. Pung Yo has selected an easier option below and is relishing the fruit. He's a vigilant male and keeps an eye on his surroundings to ensure there are no threats and everything is safe. The medlar fruits are full of seeds and are very fibrous. Those yet to ripen contain only low levels of sugar, meaning the primates can eat them in abundance. All the animals at the park have carefully controlled, balanced diets. Commercial shop-bought fruit is high in sugar content, so is a limited part of their diet. The pair have had their fill, but the medlar fruit will be left in situ for Peanut and Pung Yo to come back and enjoy over the next few days. Breakfast over, the devoted pair reaffirm their bonds with a grooming session. The colder weather at the park affects all the animals, but the smaller primates are often more susceptible to the chill than their larger counterparts. However, it's still important for the care staff to keep them active and occupied. Today, with the sun out, Steph is planning to help 3 of the park's squirrel monkeys make the most of the warmer temperatures. She's amassed a collection of different squashes, of various sizes and colour. Inside, she's hidden lots of wriggly grubs, something the 3 squirrel monkeys love to eat.
So these sort of chillier mornings, the monkeys can be a little bit less keen on going out into the great outdoors. So this should hopefully get them up and interested and outside. When it's really, really cold, we don't push it too much because obviously we want them to be warm. But daylight today, it's actually reasonably mild. So I'm hoping that we can get them up and active, because being active and being busy and investigating things in the outside enclosure is really good for them.
It's important to replicate natural feeding behaviours. So Steph has strung up some of the squashes on branches and attached others to the hosing high off the ground.
These guys spend their lifetimes in the treetops, so it's important for us to hang up the food high. We encourage them to sort of stretch and use their bodies, use their lovely long tails for balance as they sort of reach out and try and get the food. And that's just really important to get them physically active, using all of their bodies and using their brains.
The trio are let out, with Lucille leading the way. They're a bit cautious at first, unaware there are tasty grubs to be found if they look hard enough. They'd better be quick though. The local bird life are also eyeing up the wriggly worms. Logan works it out first, prompting the others to follow suit. Sparking a feeding frenzy. They can't get enough of the tasty grubs. Some of the squashes are definitely easier to reach than others. Some can only be accessed by reaching down, others by reaching up, testing the squirrel monkey's agility.
So squirrel monkeys have a high percentage of insects in their diet, but they're quite opportunistic, so they'll eat anything they come across, really. So fruits and nuts and seeds and anything like that. They'll also occasionally hunt very small animal prey as well, things like small rodents, small birds. They're basically little gannets, and they'll eat anything and everything. But the insects is definitely the #1 priority for the squirrels, is that's their favourite thing to eat.
It helps to be an expert at tightrope walking to reach all the bounty. Logan is the heaviest of the three and has also lost part of his tail, which might affect him when using it as a counterbalance. Lopez also has a disadvantage. He lost an eye before coming to the park, so his depth perception isn't as good as his housemates. But he's adapted incredibly well and is thriving at the park. By displaying such natural behaviours, the 3 squirrel monkeys demonstrate they've come a long way from their arrival at the park 7 years ago. They were rescued from appalling conditions at a house in Somerset and were emaciated and frightened with a number of health issues. But thanks to the dedication of the primate care staff, they're now a fit and healthy trio who love being outdoors. Next time on Monkey Life, serious concerns over the health of Sylvie, one of the park's last remaining stumpies.
She's nice and steady. Oh no, shall we just get a lateral x-ray now?
And we've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Erico's capuchins compete for a tropical treat.